Merch link is down below in the description. Drop a like, subscribe, make sure you have those notifications turned on. Hello everyone, and let me explain to you how to find shiny Pokemon from the mass outbreaks in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Throughout this video, I'm going to explain the benefits of casually shiny hunting with the mass outbreak shiny hunting method, as well as explaining in detail how to specifically target a Pokemon you would purposely want to shiny hunt on repeat because you purposely want to find, say, something like, I don't know, a shiny Eevee. Duly note that there is many things to talk about in terms of shiny hunting in this video game, and I don't want to do it all in one video just yet because as of recording this video, I have not finished the video game because I myself have been spending way too much time shiny hunting. So if you're looking for more advanced shiny hunting tips, I will not be able to have them in this particular video, but I plan on making more videos talking all about shiny hunting in this video game. So just make sure you're subscribed and drop a like if you'd like to see more videos like that in the future. So without further ado, let me just explain how to find outbreak shiny Pokemon in Legends Arceus. So the shiny odds for mass outbreaks by default is 1 out of 158. So as soon as you start seeing mass outbreaks show up on your map, or you're being told that, hey, there's a mass outbreak, you should probably just go do it right away, mainly because of two things. You can work on your Pokédex for that Pokemon entry, and number two, you may find yourself a shiny Pokemon. So before you actually do the mass outbreaks, obviously go to the camp, save at the camp, and then make sure you have all of the necessary things required, which would be, you know, strong Pokemon, make sure you have lots of Pokeballs, make sure you have Pokemon food, and just other items to like stun other Pokemon, because there's so many ways to like catch a shiny Pokemon or just Pokemon in general in this video game. So having, you know, a decent amount of supplies will definitely help you, but it all just comes down to how do you want to actually catch the Pokemon itself. Do you want to be sneaky about it? Do you want to battle it and then catch it? It's up to you, but so far I've honestly just done the whole concept of bringing the necessary materials and just catching the Pokemon right then and there. So if you ever fail your shiny, that's why it's so important to save. So again, turn off your auto saves if you're purposely going to be doing tons of mass outbreaks. But if you want to have auto saves on, that's totally fine if you're doing the casual experience of things because you are actively trying to continue to play your video game, where in the other method, you're specifically targeting one type of Pokemon. So for the more casual experience, I think autosave being on is fine. I'm just so used to not having autosave on ever in terms of Pokemon games because I just don't like having autosaves on. I'm just so used to just having to manually save when I want to save, but that's just my personal preference with Pokemon games. So why it's important to have a casual experience of shiny hunting in these video games early on is because not everybody wants to, you know, specifically target a shiny Pokemon. They just want to do mass outbreaks because it benefits them for their Pokédex entries, and they just want to play the video game and just have a lot of fun. So in terms of outbreaks, again, you know, your base shiny odds whenever you see a mass outbreak is 1 out of 158. If your research level is 10 plus a mass outbreak spawn, that's going to be 1 out of 152 in terms of shiny odds. And then lastly, having a completed research level 10 plus the outbreak will give you a 1 out of 141 shiny chance. So with the more casual experience, obviously, you know, you want to just catch Pokemon, you want to find them shinies at the outbreaks because that's more or less where you're probably going to find your very first shiny Pokemon, unless you just find a random shiny Pokemon while exploring the region at your own pace. Again, shiny Pokemon, they make a sound and a sparkle. So I'll show a couple examples right here so you know exactly what that sound sounds like. So why it's important to have a casual experience of, you know, checking the mass outbreaks is, like I've said many times already, is that it helps work on your Pokédex completion. I truly think this is not something you have to stop what you're doing and just specifically target a shiny Pokemon, but there is an option to do so, and you will find a shiny Pokemon if you follow that method correctly. But just in general, I've really enjoyed just doing the mass outbreaks when they show up. I go catch a bunch of Pokemon. I battle the Pokemon if I have to, if they're really aggressive or really strong. And I just have a lot of fun with the mass outbreaks, and sometimes I have found some shiny Pokemon, but a lot of the time I just catch a lot of the Pokemon, I work on my Pokedex, and I just continue to play my video game. So before we move on to the targeting of a specific shiny Pokemon you want to find, I do want to mention that the shiny charm is in this video game, as well as it does affect your shiny odds. So I'm going to have all of these shiny odds with mass outbreaks, and with the shiny charm listed right here on the screen right now. So if you're wondering what the shiny odds would be with a shiny charm once you finish your video game, when you finish your Pokédex, that will be listed right here. The reason why I'm not going to talk about much of the shiny charm and how it affects outbreaks and stuff in this particular video is I have not completed my video game because, like I said, I've spent way too much time just playing this video game, capturing Pokemon, working on my Pokedex, and just finding shiny Pokemon with this method, and just, I don't know, just running around and enjoying this video game. I don't think this is a video game you should rush through just so you can have the shiny charm. Like, you're gonna find shiny Pokemon by just casually checking the mass outbreaks. So this is the second part of the video where this is more towards specifically targeting a mass outbreak of a Pokemon you would like to find shiny. So how this works, so you have to stay with me for a second. It's really simple. You just have to understand the core concepts of how this particular method works. So basically, you're going to go to the village, and then you're going to go to the camp. Before you go to the camp, you want to check if you have a mass outbreak. If you don't have a mass outbreak, go to camp, and then go back to the village. And you're basically going to go back and forth until you are physically shown that there's a mass outbreak somewhere on the map. If that is a Pokemon you would like to find shiny, and you specifically want to keep targeting that Pokemon, this is what you should do. So in this example, what I did is I purposely wanted to find a shiny Eevee. So once I was told there was an Eevee outbreak, I went to camp and I saved at the camp. Then I went directly to the mass outbreak for Eevee, caught all of the Eevee. All you really have to do is you either have to battle the Pokemon, you have to catch the Pokemon, or you have to scare them away. It doesn't matter which one you do, because mainly the reason of what you're trying to do is you're trying to despawn the Eevee so that new ones will show up. So when you battle them, when you catch them, or when you accidentally scare them away, a brand new Eevee will spawn, which will give you a potential shiny Pokemon. So again, it is totally okay to battle a Pokemon, to catch them, or to scare them away. The goal here is you want to, if you don't see a shiny Pokemon, you have to do one of those three things in order to have another Pokemon spawn. Because the goal here is we want to have a shiny Pokemon spawn. So we have to do one of those three things to make the Pokemon disappear so that another one can replace it, basically. So as you work through the mass outbreak, eventually you will notice that no Pokemon are spawning. So it's basically the outbreak is coming to an end. So if you can tell that not a single Eevee is going to spawn, you can just stop right there and reset your video game and then just go right back to the process. If you want to catch all of them to get some practice or whatever with catching or battling or whatever you want to do, that's totally fine. But just note that once you stop seeing that particular Pokemon stop spawning, the mass outbreak is basically done and you did not find a shiny Pokemon. So what we're going to do is reset my video game and then start it up again. So of course I'm at the Pokemon camp. I'm going to go back to the village and then go back to camp, because that's going to give me a different spawn of that same Eevee outbreak. Same Pokemon, but it's different spawns for said Eevee, because we want that, because we want a chance at a shiny Pokemon. Duly note, this is super important. If you do not see an Eevee outbreak or disappeared or changed to an entirely different Pokemon, that is totally normal. That's supposed to happen at some times. Just reset your video game and try it again. So what that means is you're going to reset your video game. You'll be at camp. You go back to the village and then you go back to camp, assuming there is still an Eevee outbreak still there. So for whatever reason, if the outbreak changes, if the outbreak despawned or anything like that, that is totally fine. Reset your video game and try the process again, because you purposely want to load up your video game. You're going to be at the camp. You go back to the village and then you go back to camp for that same outbreak, but it's going to be different because you left the area and then you went back to it, but the Eevee outbreak was still available for you. So my EV outbreak is still there. I go back to camp, and then when I get to that camp, I'm going to save right away, just in case if my shiny Pokemon, I fail it or it runs away or something happens, I can just reload my video game and have another try at my shiny Eevee. So again, just save again when you get back to the camp, and then you're going to check out that outbreak to see if you have a shiny Eevee. So in this example, I was able to find a shiny Eevee on my second try of checking out the outbreak, which was absolutely amazing because the first time I did this, it took me about 2 hours of doing this method process of basically finding the outbreak I wanted, which was Eevee, checking out the outbreak, saving before I did so. I checked out the Eevee, didn't find anything, reset my video game. I went back to the village, went back to camp because I saw there was an Eevee outbreak, saved again, checked out that Eevee outbreak, nothing was found, reset my video game. I was at camp, I went back to the village, I went back to camp because I saw another Eevee outbreak. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's basically a very simple process of just like loading the video game, checking out the outbreak, and if you don't have a shiny, you reset your video game, you go back to the village, then you go back to camp. As long as the same outbreak is there for that specific target Pokemon, you're trying to find shiny. Because when you leave camp and go back to the village and then go back to the camp, that is how all of the Pokemon respawn. So if you want a 100% clean restart of the entire area, that is why it's so important to leave the camp, go back to the village, and then go back to camp, because everything respawns. So in the process of looking for I said shiny Eevee, you may find yourself a shiny Shinx or maybe an alpha shiny just because of the fact of you're constantly reloading the video game. And that's why I feel like it's so important to do it this way, because everything is a fresh spawn. And from my understanding of everything I've personally done, this is what has been the best way to do it. Of course, I've seen other success with this particular way of like targeting a shiny Pokemon, but all in all, it's a pretty simple concept. When you're targeting a specific Pokemon to find shiny, it may just take you a little bit of time to do so. Because like I said, my first Eevee took about 2 hours, and then my second shiny Eevee I found in like 5 to 10 minutes. So do I recommend this method for targeting a specific shiny Pokemon? Absolutely. If you really, really want a shiny Pokemon and you don't want to wait until the post game to start shiny hunting for it or something like that, like do whatever you want to do. Just make sure you have the right Pokemon, enough equipment, and you're ready to, you know, attempt this on repeat while trying to find the shiny Pokemon. And that's basically everything you need to know in terms of targeting a shiny Pokemon with the mass outbreaks. So again, this video is more or less for people that are still pretty early on in their playthrough, but they're able to go to the mass outbreaks, because from my understanding, once you get past the Munchlax battle is when outbreaks started showing up for myself. Apparently that may happen sooner than that, but I've been constantly able to find mass outbreaks slowly after that Munchlax story progression battle. So make sure if you want to find more outbreaks, just explore your map, just make some type of story progress so it'll allow you to explore the map in the fields and just keep things going forward. I've spent a ton of time not progressing through this video game and still being able to find mass outbreaks. So hopefully you understand the concept of casually shiny hunting the mass outbreaks versus the specifically targeting a specific Pokemon with the mass outbreaks. So again, a shiny Pokemon will physically look shiny, it will have a shiny sparkle, and will also make a shiny sound. So again, if you missed that part in this video, here it is again. In some cases, you will not see the shiny Pokemon, or you missed the sparkle, or you missed hearing it. Sometimes that just happens while playing this video game. I've definitely had that instance where I could not physically see the shiny Pokemon, but I definitely heard a shiny sparkle. That wasn't happening when I was doing a mass outbreak. That was just me conveniently finding a full odd shiny Machoke. I'll show that clip right here so you know what I'm talking about. Are you serious? I heard... Where? That was not my Eevee. There's gotta be a way up there. Eh. 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 You can't go any further. What do you mean? Dude, he was there! Oh my gosh! Bro! But all in all, just pay attention to, you know, a Pokemon physically looking different, the shiny sparkle, and the shiny sound. So if you do not have mass outbreaks spawning on your map, that means you probably still have to do a little bit more story progress for them to start showing up. In general, once you have physically seen a mass outbreak spawn at least once, to respawn a different one, you basically have to go to camp, back to the village, go to camp, back to the village, until when you're going to camp one time, it's going to say, hey, we found a mass outbreak. And if you want to go for that mass outbreak, go casually do it. Or if you're trying to specifically target a Pokemon with a mass outbreak, then to basically despawn a mass outbreak, you have to go basically back to the village, back to camp, until it basically changes. So a lot of spawning and despawning a mass outbreak for whatever purpose you're doing with shiny hunting, or just looking for a particular outbreak in general. To make that happen, it's that constant. You have to go to the village, back to camp, to the village, back to camp, to the village, back to camp, until a mass outbreak shows up in general. So basically what I'm saying is, if you want a different mass outbreak to spawn, just go back to the village, go to camp, do that on repeat until a mass outbreak spawns that you want. Obviously, when you make more progress in this video game, there's the chance that you'll have 2 different outbreaks at the same time in 2 different areas. In my opinion, I think you should just casually check both of them. I wouldn't specifically target a specific Pokemon, but I generally think that the more casual approach of just checking outbreaks as they show up is more beneficial to you and your Pokédex versus specifically targeting each shiny Pokemon all the time. Like, I'm still not done with this video game, and I don't plan on finishing it anytime soon, mainly because I'm just really just enjoying the Pokédex progress, the shiny hunting as I play. Like, this video game really wants you to play this video game, and shiny hunting just inherently happens just naturally. So if you purposely want to target a specific shiny Pokemon, absolutely go for it, but also remember that you do not have to do that at all. You can casually play this video game, check mass outbreaks as they show up, and you will find shiny Pokemon naturally. It's just going to happen. So if you purposely want to have mass outbreaks constantly show up, definitely just go to the village, go to camp, go to the village, go to camp. Do that on repeat until a mass outbreak shows up, and then just continue your video game. Do your story quest, do your side quest, or if you're just catching Pokemon for Pokedex entries and eventually you get to that mass outbreak, that's awesome, because that's exactly what happened to me when I found a shiny Luxio. I was just doing a bunch of stuff, I was casually playing, and then eventually a shiny Luxio showed up at the mass outbreak. And you have to remember, I probably was just casually playing for about like 20 to 30 minutes, and then eventually I was like, oh yeah, I have that Luxio mass outbreak, I should probably check it out. And then I did, and then I found myself a shiny right then and there before I even started the mass outbreak. So again, just casually play this video game, really enjoy it. Make sure to check those mass outbreaks all of the time, but if you specifically want to have a shiny Pokemon that you really want, basically just watch this clip of what I was doing with this Eevee. So I just finished the Eevee outbreak. I reset my video game. I checked to see if the Eevee outbreak was still there. It was still there, so I went back to the camp. I saved the video game, and then I checked out that Eevee outbreak, which again, I found this really fast, so I was really lucky with this particular Eevee outbreak, but this is what I was doing on purpose because I was trying to find a shiny Eevee. If this video helped you at all, that is so awesome. Thank you for checking this out. I know people have been waiting for this video, but this is, again, a video that is very early game mass outbreak shiny hunting. This video was not intended to be an advanced tutorial of everything you could possibly do in this video game in terms of mass outbreaks. This is pretty much a general idea of what you can do with mass outbreaks in this video game from everything that I've been able to do with shiny Pokemon and finding them with the mass outbreaks. If you have more questions, comments, or concerns about shiny hunting in this video game, please join a live stream right here on YouTube. It's so much easier to just explain things when I'm actually streaming. If you're still confused or you just don't understand the shiny hunting method, 100%. I'm more than happy to explain things during a live stream I do right here on my YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications, and then join a live stream and say, hey, SMK, I just don't really understand the method. Could you show me? Could you explain it a little bit more? I am more than happy to help you out if you still need some help with understanding how shiny hunting works in this video game, or you just visually need to see someone actually find a shiny Pokemon during a live stream, because I do a lot of that. So definitely make sure you join a live stream right here on YouTube. But that is everything for this particular video. I will have more shiny hunting tutorials and just videos that go into more detail of shiny hunting, how I'm capturing Pokemon, and how I'm doing all of this shiny hunting later on in this video game. But for right now, I'm going to get back to focusing on live streaming more on this channel so I can find more shiny Pokemon, so I can make more tutorials and just more how-to videos to really explain the shiny hunting process in this video game. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you at a live stream right here on YouTube sometime in the future, and I'll just see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. My name's SMK. You can always just call me Steven, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.